Now, if you want to go into your math book, some of these were already pulled from your book, but these ones are a little easier to follow along with. So if you want to use your math book, it's page 472 for these ones. Oh, did I have this on twice? Yes, I did. So it's still page 472, friends, but those are the same ones. All right, so now page 473, I apologize. Okay, so remember at any point you can pause this to kind of try to go ahead on your own. Here are some ways to express the inequality in words, so keep that in mind. Okay, so let's go ahead. We are going to write an inequality based on what we read. The elevation E, so there's our variable, is greater than or equal to 15 meters. Okay, so let's pull this apart a little bit. Okay, greater than or equal to, let's find that symbol. Perfect. So greater than or equal to is going to look like this. Now, what is greater than is E. So E, the elevation, has to go on this side because it's greater than or equal to 15. Okay, and notice I'm leaving it as 15. I kind of do take away my units once I've turned it into an inequality. Okay, a passenger's age A must be more than 4 years old. Okay, so someone's age has to be more than 4 years of age. So let's look up here, find your more than, perfect. So we know we're going to be using this symbol. And what is more than? Who does the alligator want to eat? Well, the passenger's age, A, has to be more than 4. Notice it doesn't say no less than. There's no equal to here. If you're 4 years old, can't ride it. But if you're 5 or 6 or 15 or 33 even, let's say, you're going to be just fine because A can be any number that's larger than 4. All right, friends, now we're going to go the opposite direction. They're giving us the inequality. It's now time to write the sentence. So write a word sentence for the inequality. They're just asking for one, so we're going to pick one. Again, you get to keep the letters, the variables and your standard form numbers. So we're going to do B. And then I think it's easiest. You can look at your chart. So let's look at our chart up here. You can pick from any of these three. I just like to kind of pick what I normally read it with, which is always kind of the first one, less than. But you can try under. You can try not as much as B is less than 1/2. Okay, but again, I could have said B is under 1/2. B is not as much as 1/2. Either would work. Okay, so you just kind of match your symbol with your possibilities for keywords. All right, number 4. M, so I get to keep that. M is, and again, go ahead, you can find your symbols up here, or just based on reading left to right, I always go with this one, greater than or equal to. But you know what, that's a lot to write, so just for fun, I'm going to choose kind of the shortest one. At least would also work. M is at least, I apologize for the messiness, 55, done. So you can kind of notice, right? For this symbol, that's the key word. For this symbol, that's the key word. Okay, at least or less than. Good. All right, so next one. In your math book, you guys can try and do this first. I kind of spaced it out more, but it's in your book if you want to go to page 473. So we're just going to match. We're going to take the sentence over here. I'm going to go ahead and write the inequality myself because I just work that way. And then I'm going to match it up with the answer over here. So this says Walter sold more than 10 tickets. So more than is our keyword. And I'm going to do it this way. Walter is being talked about first. I'm going to represent Walter with W. So W is more than 10 tickets. So more than. Let's take a look. Where do you see that? Perfect. That means I'm going to use this symbol. I'm not having that line underneath. So Walter sold more than 10 tickets. Perfect. So now that I've come up with this, there we go. We found our match. Perfect. Fewer than 10 children are at the party. Okay, so this one gets a little tougher. So let's think about this. We have fewer than is our keyword. We have the number 10, which is going to be our value. And then we're talking about children. So for children, just like up here we were talking about Walter, we did the W. For children, you guessed it, I'm going to go ahead and use a C. So fewer than 10 children are at the party. I'm going to keep putting the variable on this side. Fewer than, let's see, fewer than. That's the same thing as less than. Fewer than and less than mean the same thing, less, fewer. So that means C for children. One moment, just checking. Would be, make sure I have this here. There's less than 10. So when it says fewer than, I want you to think about that word less. Okay? Fewer than 10 children, less than 10 children. Now, if we're looking over here, I would say to do C as children. I don't know. Oops, I'm sorry. I just realized I made a mistake. Oh my goodness, friends. My bad. Whew. Walter sold more than 10 tickets. This is the guy that matches. Sorry, I saw the W like my W. Your variables might change, but if you notice, I'm looking for the inequality that matches. So this is R, sure, matches here. Okay, and then if we look over here, C is less the fewer than 10. I don't get to have 10, I have to have less than 10, right? That guy matches here. Perfect. Okay, so it does take a minute, so take your time. No more than 10 people can be seated at a table. So no more than 10. So it means that I could have 10, and I'm going to use P for people. So I have P for people, no more than 10. So I want this to be, P has to be less than or equal to 10. Because he can have 10 people, but he can't have more. But he could have 9, he could have 8, he could have 6, right? And that would all work. So where do we see something similar to this? And you'll notice we see it right up here. And finally, at least 10 people need to sign up for the class. Okay, so let's analyze this again. At least 10 people. So I can have 10, right? I can have 10 people, but I need at least there to be 10. So if I have 10 people, the class is going. If I don't have 10 people, if I have 9 or 7, the class is canceled. But I can have 10, I could have 50 people could come, 30. So I'm again going to use P for people for me. So I can have at least 10, so it means I can have more than 10. So I want the alligator to be able to get more of it, but I'm putting that equal sign, part of the equal sign underneath, so I know that if I have 10, that is okay, at least. And if you come up here and check, at least that is the symbol we're using. So for today, you're going to keep putting the variable on the left side, and then you put your standard form numbers right on the right side, and then you pick the right inequality for the center. So if I look over here, where do I see a match? They use T, that's fine, and I'm going to connect it here. All right, my friends, hopefully you took some time and paused it where needed. Great job. It's time for you to give it some practice yourself.